This is it, folks. This is Manchester United's final fixture of the 25-26 Premier League season, and we travel to the Amex to take on Brighton. Is it still called the Amex? I always call it the Amex. It is what it is. A lot of questions, a lot of talking points going in this one. Could Bruno break the assist record? He tied it against Forest, despite what Roy Keane might tell you. Could he break it? We will see. Could Sen Lamens also break the single season save record? He needs just 4 more to break that record. That's another talking point. Will Michael Carrick give some minutes to a couple of youngsters now that third place is locked in? We know that some players are not going to feature. More on that later. Will Manchester United finish the season strong with another 3 points to make it 5 wins out of our last 6? That would be amazing. Is Danny Welbeck a dead cert to score against his former club again? These are the important questions that we are going to answer today. We're talking tactics, we're talking team news, starting 11, score predictions, all of it. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. This is United versus everybody. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get stuck in. I'll be right back. What is going on, everybody? It is Friday. Who's feeling good? I'm feeling tired. Trivia last night. Did not get home till 1:30. Woke up at 5 o'clock, and I've been literally going since. I've got 3 cups of coffee in me today, and it's not doing a damn thing. But you guys know that I love doing the channel. I love interacting with all of you, so we're going to push through it today. But if I do kind of sound tired, that's why. Just a little grace. But we're going to talk about it. First and foremost, you guys know I want to get involved in the chat and see who's in here, you guys. Ian's in the house. Big up. Let's finish it in style with the kids. Yeah, I can't wait to hear how many kids you guys want to see in the squad. It's a big one. Big up, Rob Taff. Hope you are all having a good Friday. What's everybody getting up to this weekend? Anybody in America, it is Memorial Day weekend, so I think most people might have Monday off. Who knows? But we'll see how that goes. I don't even realize it was Memorial Day weekend, to be honest with you. Danny B's in the house. Big up, Danny. Hope you are doing well. Hope everybody is having an amazing Friday. And yeah, let us know what you're getting up to this weekend. But most importantly, make sure you like and subscribe as well. And I did pin in the chat too. I always try to help you guys out. I know a lot of us maybe don't want to give money to the Glazers and what. I get it. But if you still want United gear, you obviously go check out the United vs. Everybody store. Get yourself something like the green and gold OG. But Fanatics is also having a 60% off sale right now. So go check that out. I did put a link it's pinned in the chat. So if you want to go check out some United gear at Fanatics, follow that link and that'll take you there for 60% off with code Memorial, I think it is. It's at the top of the screen. You'll see it. Ian says, Sean, take it easy, mate. Chill. Let the show flow. Yeah, Fridays are pretty chill. In general, the channel itself's pretty chill, let's be honest with you. It's mostly me trying to just overcompensate for how tired I am. I've been running around all day today, so. But let's dive into some news first and foremost, because we got a lot to talk about today before we dive into this match preview. Starting with, obviously, the big news coming out today is Manchester United's official announcement of Michael Carrick's appointment as the full-time permanent head coach on a 2-year deal, runs to 2028. I don't think, and you guys let me know what you think in the chat. I don't think this was the plan, right? The plan, obviously, when we sacked Ruben Amorim, was get someone in, steady the ship, interim settings, right? Just shore us up at the back, stop leaking goals. And to be fair, Carrick did that. He's won the most points in the league since he's been appointed, right? Some excellent results against big sides as well. We've kept the leading at halftime at Old Trafford, not losing a game, record strong under him as well. He's played some good football as well. And I think that results basically changed Ineos's mind, right? I think that he's basically given them a decision. I don't think it was a decision that Ineos were planning to have to consider, but obviously you have to be able to change your mind if new information comes to light. And I think that Carrick's record speaks for himself. You may think that maybe Iraola is overall a better manager. You may think whoever is overall a better manager. That's fine, but they've not done it at Manchester United as a manager or as a player, if you want to go that route. Carrick has. He's come in and he's literally won a lot of games, and he's won some big ones too. And I don't think you can ignore that. I don't think it'd be fair to just completely wipe that away and go for someone else. Yes, you could say maybe their hand was forced because there aren't really a whole lot of managers, and you'd probably have a valid point. That's a whole other discussion that we've handled many, many times. But it sounds like results have changed Ineos's mind, and I think that if he can continue doing this, back him in the summer, which we're going to talk about, maybe our plans there in a little bit here, then there's no reason to think he can't. But we'll see. Everyone's crying Ollie. It's not the same. We've talked about that many times. It's, again, if you dated a girl with blue eyes and it didn't work out, do you just forego any girl with blue eyes? No, you don't. It's not the same. I read Steve Holland and the coaching staff are now being finalized as well, which I'm okay with. I think Steve Holland is an excellent coach. I think Danny B was one of the first on the channel too to suggest maybe bringing in one or two other top level coaches as well. I'd love to bring in a striker coach. I don't know if Rooney's not doing anything. Maybe we can go ahead and bring in Rooney in to come work with the strikers for a little bit, or at least in preseason. I think that would be cool to have Rooney come in for preseason, but he's obviously got his own like podcasts and stuff now too. But big up Michael Carrick. Are you guys happy with that? You guys think 2 year? Honestly, I don't worry too much about how long the contracts are because, I mean, managers don't last that long typically anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference, but it is what it is. Sancheet's in the house. Big up, Sancheet. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Ian says, I know for a fact I'm not the only person in this chat that definitely isn't happy with today's news. We're going to talk about that because, I mean, and I think that if you're like me, or if you like maybe how I used to be, not because I'm over it, but just because I don't have time. If you watch a lot of United content, there's a lot of channels who are really pushing their own kind of temper tantrums, and because they've got such big fan bases, some of their fans kind of follow suit. I think it's important to kind of get perspective, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Big up, Box. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Ian says, I think we finally employed a manager that suits the club, suits the team, which is something we haven't done in the last 3. I'm very happy with this now. Time to back him. Yeah, 100% agree. We got to back him. Bring him in some players to suit the squad. I think the way he plays is very United, like you say. I think the way he plays suits the players. And I think the way he plays suits what Ineos are trying to do as well, the kind of squad and culture they're trying to build at United. And I think that all of it's kind of aligning as well. So yeah, Box is like an additional experienced coach. Yeah, I'd like that too. I think that would be a good appointment. Yeah, 2-year deal's fine, but again, even if it was like a 5-year deal, the only difference would be, if you sack him in 2 years, then you paying him off at that point. It doesn't really make a huge difference. But we'll see what it goes. Diamante the Dippers, yeah, I think they need a 80 million pound winger more than we do, right? Quite frankly. But we'll see. But big up Michael Carrick. Let us know if you guys are fans of that or not. Moving on. Congratulations to Miss Ella Toon on receiving an MBE as well this week. She got that little ceremony with the prince and everything. Obviously, I'm not English, so my knowledge on that is limited. But you always want to shout out our players, whether they're academy, first team, or women's team, for their achievements, both on and off the pitch. And I'm very happy with that. I think Ella Toon, the women's team have kind of waned a little bit these last month or so in the league. They've all looked a little tired. Injuries are set, and obviously Ella's dealt with some injuries as well. But very, very happy for her. Very proud of that. I also saw that Maya Letitia and Jess Park have also been named in the WSL Team of the Season too. So big up, ladies. Season didn't end the way we wanted it to. We still have some amazing players in the women's team, but we'll come back strong next season. So. Hopefully, I'll keep my fingers crossed there. Let me get caught up on the chat. You guys are just laughing at each other. Let's move into some other news because there's all sorts of stuff. We're probably going to spend a lot of time talking about transfers today because it's all kicking off. So there was a big article in The Athletic yesterday. It was all about Manchester United and all the midfielders we've been linked with, right? I don't know if you guys probably saw it. It is honestly, like, it's not that it was a bad piece, right? It's a good piece, well written, obviously, but it's nothing that we haven't already read or didn't already know or haven't already heard for like the last 6, 7, 8 months. Honestly, it's just it basically, like, I'm not bashing it, like, it is what it is, but it's basically, the article just said all the same stuff we already knew. It's just added some pretty graphics now, graphics that you and I have discussed. I've put up heat maps, I've put up percentiles, graphics we've all seen many, many times. So it wasn't like there was anything new. It was just, these are all the midfielders United have been linked with. These are their kind of player profiles. That's what it is. That's all it was, basically. Basically, justifying like a data analysis intern. But I did what Lloyd Whitwell did speak about is United are working hard to get personal terms agreed on midfield targets, though, so that kind of like what we did with our targets this last summer with Cunha and Bumo, lock down personal terms, so then we can kind of relax a little bit, and then we can kind of take our pick. They're kind of getting personal terms. What I'm gathering, and the impression I get is we're locking in personal terms. We're getting a buy-in on the player's end. We're covering a lot of bases, a lot of options, and then when we get that commitment, then we're kind of assessing which players are the top targets, basically. That's exactly what we did last window as well when we were looking at players. Get the player buy-in first, and then it doesn't matter if Spurs want this or Newcastle want that. It does not matter at that point. They're coming to United. So, but what I don't get is why, again, we're waiting very long to get this started. Like, Ineos can do stuff before the window opens, so go get it done. You can basically do everything besides sign the paper now. Get a fee agreed with clubs and stuff. Usually the selling club doesn't want everybody to know that sometimes they want to have more control over that narrative. I get it. I don't really care at that point. It doesn't really matter, who saves face and who looks better on social media, just as long as we get our players we want for a decent price. But I just want us to move quickly. I want us to show some ambition, and I want us to be a bit smart and not just go for like, let's just get 100 million for Anderson, and then we got to get like 2 players after that. I don't know if we can spend 100 million on one player this summer with how much we have to do, and I don't think it would be wise. I don't think we're at a place in our project to do that right now. I think City can do it because they're 15 years into a whole thing, and they're a well-oiled machine, so if they lose a player, they can go ahead and just replace one. Arsenal, like 6-7 years into their project, they are now at a place where they can get a Declan Rice for 100 million. We are just not there yet, unfortunately. It'll take another couple years for us to get to that point. Maybe like by the time Bruno leaves in a year or two, maybe we can afford to go get someone expensive like a Nico Paz or something to go play where he plays, kind of a thing. But a lot of news. What are you guys saying here in the chat? You guys are chatting about signings. Interesting. So we got a lot of news today, you guys. This first one's coming from an Italian journalist, Michele Criscitello, and he added this to say to this morning that Manchester United, Atalanta deal almost closed. Ederson to Premier for 48 million euros in add-ons, which is about 41 million pounds. Agreement on all fronts. And that's coming from Michele Criscitello. Probably butchered that. My bad. And then we got this little ditty from Alfredo Padilla that United and Atlanta have held talks overnight. United have increased our initial offer from 40 million and 7 million add-ons to a fixed fee of 47, 48 plus bonuses. According to this, Padilla, Ederson has already reached an agreement with United as recently as a week ago. And so that's, again, it's a lot less than, 40 million euros. So obviously it's significantly less than that. Some reports I saw just before I went live say that we've made an initial offer of 39 million pounds, which Atalanta are mulling over at the moment. I told you, it's silly season. You're getting 3 different variations of the story from 3 different outlets right now. And most of these reports so far have been from Italian outlets. So keep that in mind as well. What do you guys, I feel like we've talked about Ederson so much. I know a lot of you guys, he's not your first choice. Some of you don't even have him in your top 10, top 20. It is what it is. It's different strokes for different folks. All things being equal, I don't mind Ederson. He's not a bad player, but he kind of reminds me a little bit of Fred. Probably a little bit more of a silkier Fred. Like, he strikes me as someone like he's got a Fred profile, but I think he's just like a better than a Fred. He's like a Fred when he hits level 16 and learns like quick attack or something. All things being equal, I don't mind the Ederson, but that's a little bit too much that I'd want to pay for somebody entering the final year of his contract, especially who apparently no one else is really all that in for right now. Like, he can leave for free. Why isn't anybody else doing this? We should not be the ones to kind of pay over the odds like we did with Mason Mount. This says the financial side of this has Mason Mount written all over it. I do think Ederson's a better player, but I think that's kind of what it reminds me of. I do think it has the potential to screw the market even for ourselves. Remember when we got Cunha, we paid that much, and that kind of laid down a marker for what we were going to have to be paying for like Mbumo. Remember all the reports were, well, you paid this much for Cunha, and now Mbumo is basically the same. That basically you set the kind of hole the market with your, and again, a better way to look at the term market is to look at human behavior. Market is human behavior. you break the bank for Neymar or Mbappe, you kind of set the market. When you spend a certain amount on one player, you're going to be expected to spend that similar amount on another similar profile player as well. It's very difficult. But yeah, so let me get caught up in the chat, you guys. Let me see here. Da-da-da-da-da. You guys are just chit chatting away. I like it. I like getting everybody doing this. Danny says, no, this is a joke. Danny's not a fan. Danny's not a fan. I'd probably be I would pay maybe, I would go like 27 tops with like another 5, 6 and add-ons and get him for like 35 million total with final year of his contract. There's no reason to spend that much money. Honestly, this one you get the players buy-in and then you just make Atalanta kind of sweat for the rest of the summer. He's not going to the World Cup anyway, but for depth, I don't have a problem with this. He wouldn't be my top signing. He wouldn't be like the main guy. He's not like the Casemiro replacement. He would be like the guy who, because again, it's this big step up from Atalanta. I'd rotate him behind someone like let's, for argument's sake, an Anderson or something. That would be who I would maybe kind of rotate him in and out with, depending on the opposition. If you wanted someone who's going to screen the defense a little bit more and cycle possession in deeper areas and then maybe play some balls from back, that's the Ederson kind of profile, in my opinion, personally. The Bassi's in the house. Big up the Bassi. Box says Atalanta must love us after the Ahmad and Hoyland deals. Yeah, honestly, I mean, we're making money on Hoyland, though, Box, so it's not really that big a deal. Atalanta are going to get their money somehow, but I don't have a price. It's even more of a joke because you're thinking about it, thinking if we're actually making that offer clear. I mean, for depth, it's not a problem, but I don't want to spend that much on someone who's maybe not our, like, first choice, who's not probably going to be the starting 11. Maybe they see him as, if they see him as the guy, like that's our marquee signing, then that's a big problem. But if they look at if their data has looked at this and said this guy is good, he suits what we're trying to do, then the financial data in the analysis needs to follow suit, and we need to make sure we get a good deal. If you're spending that much on a player like this, who'll be 27 in July, final year of his contract, no one else is really in for him. They were Atletico Madrid, but then it seems like they pivoted to João Gomez because nobody wants to pay what Atalanta want. I don't want us to pay what Atalanta want. Now, again, we put the rumors up, not because I necessarily believe them 100%, so we can talk about them real quick. But again, there's so many coming out today. Let's see what sticks to the wall and what doesn't. Ian says, Sean, I don't like the deal, but if we're going to do it, we can't surely pay more than 20. You're gonna probably pay for a player like this. You're gonna pay probably 30 total, probably 35 total for this guy, and that's probably fair, to be honest. But I just don't want to spend that much. My cheap ass. He's got 1 year on his contract. Don't do it. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, Debasi, I hope so. That he's not, he's like the probably second choice as a Casemiro replacement, because he does suit me more as that holding midfield type, that screener as well. I don't think he's bad though. I don't think he's bad at all. Rob says Atalanta pulled their pants down over Hoyland. Yeah, I mean, Hoyland was never meant to be the only striker. I mean, that was a whole other thing. We talked about that many times. Hoyland wasn't meant to be the main guy. He never should have been. He's 19 years old. He never should have been the first choice striker. He should have come in and learned from someone like if Cavani were still here, or Harry Kane, or someone like that. I think it was a bit unfair on Hoyland, but he actually, I mean, for the deepest numbers that first season, he far exceeded what I expected from him that first season. So, let's see what you guys. Ederson a smokescreen? Maybe. You never know, man. You never know if he's a smokescreen. Let's look at some numbers from Ederson while we're all chatting about him real quick. So he is above average for literally every metric. It's just the way it is. He's above average for everything. He's actually in the top, almost the top 10% for completing those progressive passes and stuff like that. As far as getting that, he wins the ball, he gets it forward. He's well above average for possession won, like well above average. And then he gets that ball. He's actually really good carrying the ball as well. He could do a little bit of everything. And that to me screams like quality utility player to come in and do a job, in like some of these later stage Champions Leagues, coming in and rotate. He's got European experience, which was a big box to tick for me. But he can't be our big midfield signing. He absolutely can't be our only signing. For me, he was not the main signing. It's not like, guys, look at us. We got Ederson, and then we got someone else down the line, like I don't know, pick one, Achimpong or something. Like that's not a midfield signing. But like Bach says, the thing that I'm like that boggles my mind, and I posted this on X earlier. Like, there's so many people who are bashing him, but he's not even kicked the ball for us. Like the same kind of people, and I'm not accusing you. I'm just from what I'm seeing on social media today, which is why I responded on social media. These people who are like raging about this, so these are the same kind of people who did not have a clue who Senna Lamans was until he signed for us, and then he started playing, and then they're like, "Oh shit! All right, I stand corrected. I was not familiar with your game." You never know, is my point. The guy's not even kicked the ball for us. Again, it's about systems. It's about the way we're going to use them and stuff. That, to me, is going to make so much more of a difference than just what we've seen so far. Is he my first choice? No. Would he be my second choice? No. But it doesn't mean he's bad, and I'm not gonna hate on him. I'm not gonna boo him or something or rail about it on social media if he doesn't. If we don't do anything else. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it just comes in swings and roundabouts, doesn't it? It's just the way it works. Danny likes Anderson, Matthias, Fernandes, and Ederson. Yeah, I mean, if you can get that price down and you still get someone like a Matthias Fernandes and someone, I personally don't know if Anderson's going to be doable this summer just from the prices I'm seeing. I don't think we're in a position to do that personally, but yeah. This is why you don't listen to Paul Scholes, by the way. Paul Scholes does not watch football. Roy Keane does not watch football. Gary Neville does not watch. They don't know who these players are. They literally don't. So you don't get them. You don't get their advice. They were good players. We respect them for that, but you don't get talent identification advice from any of these jokers. They don't know what they're talking about. It just is what it is. But DiMarcio, Gianluca DiMarcio, remember that guy? He chimed in as well and claimed that United are confident of getting both Ederson and Sandro Tonali. This is what DiMarcio had to say, that United have decided to focus on Sandro Tonali regardless of Ederson. Tonali is the first player that Michael Carrick wants at United. There's a good chance that the transfer will go through. It is not yet known if it will be 100 million euros or 75 to 80 million euros plus bonuses. So a bit underwhelming. It wouldn't be my first choice as well. Sandro Tonali is a very, very good player, but he's not an 86 million pound player. He's definitely not like a 70 million pound player, in my opinion. It's a bit too much for Sandro Tonali. He's not bad at all. I would do like, I would expect to pay 60 up to like 70 with add-ons. That would be what I expect to pay for someone like Sandro Tonali. He is a very good player. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, you have to look at the way Newcastle are playing as well. They've been poor this season. Everybody's dropped off. Tonali has still looked among one of their best players in the bad squad. He and Lewis Hall are probably the better ones at that squad at the moment. Osula has really come on as well. But Tonali and Ederson, it's underwhelming to me. That screams of like second choice signings, both of them in my opinion. If you got like another young midfielder as well, like a Mateus Fernandes, and you got Tonali and you got Ederson, like that's not a bad window. It's just, to me, doesn't scream of first choice signing windows. None of the three, Tonali, Ederson, or Mateus Fernandes, are at the World Cup. So anyone in the chat thinking, why didn't Ederson get called up to the World Cup? Mateus Fernandes didn't either, so it is what it is. But if they're high on Ineos' list, if they're high on Carrick's list, if everyone's in sync, like, and that's the way that the club wants to roll, then you have to go get it done. Cobby, Tonali, Ederson, Mateus Fernandes. It's actually not a bad midfield depth, honestly. They can handle a variety of oppositions. I think they'd be able to handle multiple competitions. We'll see. Anderson, who knows what's going on there. I read today that Enzo Maresca, who will be taking over for Pep, it looks like Pep made an announcement today. He will be leaving. I read that City might be looking at Enzo Fernandes at Chelsea. So who knows what that means for Anderson's potential future. It told you guys, silly season is all over the place this year. What are you guys saying in the chat here? Let's see. Danny says, and that's why we won't kick on. We need to pay the money for the best. No, I agree. I just don't know if financially we can. I think if you spend 100+ million on Anderson, that's one less player, unfortunately. And that's not me giving Ineos an excuse. I'm just looking at the reality of the situation. That's a lot. You guys have, and you included, Danny, have also said in the past that you would rather get a couple midfielders for the price of one Elliot Anderson than just go for one Elliot Anderson. So I'm just holding you guys to what you guys have said in the past. Let's see. Danny said they did overpay. They absolutely overpaid, and it took 2 years for that thing for the Declan Rice signing to pay off. Look at what City paid for Jack Grealish. Look what they paid for Joshua Gvardiol. Look what, like you're saying, like what Chelsea paid for Enzo Caicedo. Like, what are Chelsea doing? Chelsea might not even qualify for Europe, and they've got what, 250 million pounds worth of midfielders sitting in their double pivot. They've got 80 million pound Mudryk, who's just not ever going to play football again. Apparently, like, it's a risk. It really, I get, like, I think if we were like another summer from now, I think that would be the summer you expect to see maybe like a big marquee signing like an Elliot Anderson. I think maybe it just might be the planets are just not aligning, unfortunately. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't think he's worth 80 million pounds either. I think I would open the bidding at like 60 with like 7-8 million in add-ons, and that would be my hard line there. And if they say no, then we're moving on personally. But that's just me. Let's see. Well, Box, he's a completely different midfield. Oh, you're talking about from Newcastle players. There's nothing wrong with getting both necessarily, but I'm not known that to happen a whole lot of times, other than like when Arsenal got Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko in the same summer. That's the only time I've ever seen that kind of happen. Ian says, Sean, when it comes to pricing, I think we're all in agreement here. There's only one player United's list that's even worth 80 million. It's Andrew. Yeah. I don't think any player is worth it. That's just what you're going to have to pay now. But they're probably gonna hold out for more than that. It's just, and that's their right, honestly. But I just don't think we're at a place where we can do that. Unfortunately, if you spend that much on one player, that's easily almost half your budget, right off the bat. So it's hard. It really is. I get all sides of it. I'm not saying anyone's wrong. I'm not saying I disagree. It's just hard when you can agree with both sides of the argument, right? You guys are funny. So on Mateus Fernandes too, I read something from Nathan Salt today. He claims that we've actually held further discussions with West Ham and Jorge Mendes, who is the agent regarding them. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of midfielders we've been linked to. Sounds like the ball's getting rolling. The transfer window opens June 15th this summer, by the way. So keep that in mind. It's opening 2 weeks earlier than it usually does. 2 weeks later than it did last summer. They opened it so early for the Club World Cup. It makes sense that they open it early for the World Cup, but I'm just confused that they opened it super early for Club World Cup. But Mateus Fernandes is someone I definitely like. I think he definitely suits their role as well. I do want someone maybe just a little bit more all-around physical as well. I think that against certain oppositions, we're going to need that too. But you never write off a player before they kick the ball from us, for us, guys. I think that's important to remember. Give everybody a chance, whether it's a manager or whether it's a player. Debasi wants Tchouameni. I don't mind Tchouameni, but also I don't mind Alex Scott. But both have not great injury records. Alex Scott has had 2 major knee injuries that have seen him miss a lot of football. He had a meniscus replacement. Like, that's not good. And so, yeah, Alex Scott looks good. He's had a good season, but it's always going to be one of those if things, like the Delit back situation. Like, yeah, we got by for a better part of almost a season and a half, but then once that injury pops up again, you're missing more than half the season if it's serious things. So it's difficult. I get it. Danny says, if it's Anderson, Mateus Fernandes, no other midfielder, I deal with that. Yeah, no, but we need another one now. Don't forget, we are doing our rebuild. We got another summer spending spree video coming up, so mark your calendars for that one. I say mark your calendars. I don't know the date, but make sure you hit the notification bell. We will be doing another rebuild video because obviously things have changed. The last time Dylan and I did that, I think it was February. We weren't for sure qualified for Champions League. Now money looks a little different. Maybe we'll get a little bit more money to work with. So keep that in mind, guys. We will be doing some more of that. Big up, Rob, always United. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you coming by, saying hey. Danny says, in a pinch, I would drop Bruno or academy players in midfield. Yeah, you can do that too, but you drop Bruno in midfield. What does that mean for that 10 spot? It's hard moving pieces around. There's a lot of options, and I think that's really good now because that's why you also want versatility as well, is you got players you can play multiple positions. But someone mentioned Lewis Hall. A good segue because Alex Crook had a little something to say today or yesterday about Lewis Hall. He claims Lewis Hall is actually open and leaving Newcastle this summer. Jason Wilcox is a big admirer of Hall. United are among the clubs actively seeking a new left back. So he's basically, that last part's a bit of a throwaway. I really like Lewis Hall. You guys know how much I like Lewis Hall. I think he's an excellent left back. He's not the left back who's going to be whipping in crosses, but he is a left back who will get the ball up the pitch and find his teammates, and I do like that a lot. You guys know where I'm going with this. Look at some numbers from Lewis Hall. When it comes to ball progression, winning back the ball, defensive duels, carrying the ball, he's well above average. The only thing he's below average on is those crosses. Again, he is not a fullback who's going to put a ball in the box, whip it in. He's not like your Malik Doof or anything like that, or Pedro Porro. He is, I'm going to carry the ball and going to find somebody with it. Usually he can play a ball into the box. He can play a ball around the back line and stuff. He's really good at that stuff, but he's not going to get to that, not going to get to the byline and just whip a ball in and put it on the penalty spot. That's just not his game, which I don't mind necessarily. I do want us to start doing that more with Shesko on the pitch. You've got a 6.5-foot guy who can out-jump everybody in the league. The guy can put his arm through a basketball net by jumping, like put a ball in the box and let him get on the end of it. So I wouldn't mind a left back can do that, but I do like Lewis Hall a lot. Comparatively speaking, what you're going to see him compared to someone like Doof, someone like Nathaniel Brown, someone like Hugo Bueno, and someone like Luke Shaw, who we already have. So Lewis Hall is in purple. He far outperforms all of them when it comes to not only winning the ball back, but getting that ball up the pitch by passing it. He isn't going to put as many crosses in as Hugo Bueno. Hugo Bueno is up there when it comes to carrying the ball and putting crosses in. So guys, keep that in mind. And when we're looking at left backs, Hugo Bueno can be a very, very smart piece of business this summer. I put him in my video in the initial rebuild, if you guys remember when I was doing that, because I do think that he's an excellent, excellent fullback. But I think Lewis Hall is, if there's an opportunity to get Lewis Hall before his market value gets too high, I don't think that's something you want to turn down. Plus, he's also not at the World Cup, I believe. Someone correct me if I've gotten that mistaken. But you can see when it comes to ball progression with passing and it comes to possession when he's up there, he's also only behind Nathaniel Brown for dual percentage as well. And just, again, he just gets it done. Obviously, like I said, he's one of the lowest when it comes to crosses, but then again, so is Shaw, so is Nathaniel Brown. We all have seen Shaw is just not confident in his ability to put a ball in the box anymore. So what are you doing? Yeah, Cooney in the 10. We've talked about that many, many times. Let's see. World Cup FPL. No, I don't really get that much into the World Cup personally. Ian likes Hall. He would definitely take. He's one of the better Newcastle players. I'm sure Newcastle would rather lose him instead of their midfield. He's quality left back, very attacking cross. Yeah, he doesn't really cross though, unfortunately. Yeah, I do as well, Danny. Again, it's all going to be about the way Michael Carrick wants to play. If he wants to get a fullback that's going to get some chalk on their boots and then whip a ball in, that's one thing. If we're not going to play that way, if we're going to maybe be looking at more overloads in those wide areas, maybe what we've seen from Dallo, kind of moving centrally at times to do an underlap. If that's the way Michael Carrick is playing and United are behind it, then it doesn't really matter as much necessarily. You can always cut back onto the right as a winger as well. Let's see. Yeah, the crossing from Doof is outstanding. The guy, but that's the thing. Doof does that very, very well. But when it comes to other areas of his game, he's just very young and very raw. He doesn't do a whole lot of defensively. He's caught out a lot. And because he's young, I'm not saying he's bad, because he's young. So while he's very good at getting the ball up the pitch and putting it in the box, the defensive side of things is still very, very raw with Doof, unfortunately. Ian says, I'd rather Hugo over Hall. I mean, he'd be cheaper for sure. You're not wrong there. It's hard. It's definitely hard. I don't envy directors of football. Rob says True Fair's had a good season. Yeah, he's having a very good season. Did he come from Nice or did he come from Runs? I can't remember now off the top of my head. Let's see. Danny says Doof word. Yeah, off the ball, Doof. He'll get there. Hopefully, he might just end up being a more attack-minded fullback, like a Marcello or something. That just might be his game, but he is going to have to defend at some point, and if he can't, then that's a worry, because it does leave us very, very exposed, especially as you've seen how he gets that ball up the pitch. You're going to get caught out defensively. That's not the great way to be, unfortunately. So, but it is what it is. It's definitely going to take more than like $50 million to get Lewis Hall out of Newcastle. Newcastle are struggling. They did spend a lot. They're not qualified for Europe, and that's a big, big hurt for them. Like I said many times, rich owners don't really make a difference when it comes to PSR, you guys, because you can't just pump money in. That's not the way it works unless you're City, apparently. Chelsea have a sell-on clause with Lewis Hall as well. So again, if you get Lewis Hall, you're going to have to put up with the fact that you'd be helping Chelsea out of their financial shit show, which I'm not super thrilled about. But I wonder how easy it is to get multiple players from one club. If you get Tonali, you get Lewis Hall. I don't, like I said, I can only think off the top of my head of that happening one time recently, and that's Sinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. I can't remember. I can't remember. Maybe you guys can remind me if there's another case. I just don't remember off the top of my head. But on left wingers, Sean Connolly claims that United have Mateus Mane from Wolves on our list of left wing options. I really like Mateus Mane a lot. You guys, I think he was on my list last time out. 25-30 million is what I'm seeing. It's probably a little more than I would want to spend on an 18-year-old who's had a couple dozen appearances in the Premier League. He would be one that I was maybe looking to spend like maybe 20 million on tops. I would even consider loaning him back to Wolves for the season of development in the Championship, out of the spotlight. A lot of games, test that physical. He's very similar to Cunha, which is why I still go back and forth on Mateus Mane, because he and Cunha are basically the same player. They play, because Wolves play that same system. He's like one of the left tens, basically the same as Cunha. He can play wide, and he does do a lot of play on the wide, but he's not a natural winger, Mane. He's definitely like a Cunha, a Rodgers, like a Gibbs White type player. He wants that ball in those half spaces and channels. He's comfortable with it. He wants to operate in those kind of more central areas. So this is a bit redundant for me, so maybe it's not a big priority, but who knows, man? Is he too similar? Do you guys want a more natural left winger than Mateus Mane? Transfer window opens in a couple weeks. You never know. Let's see. Ian says director of football is the hardest job. There's so much more to it as well, because it's not just let's get a good price for this player, let's do this, because you've got your team, and it's more about the culture and maintaining the culture at the club, in the dressing room, in the academy. The director of football is responsible for a lot of that, and making sure that every move that the club makes aligns with not only the vision, but it also moves everybody towards that with everybody's interest in mind. It's very difficult to balance all those plates as a director of football. That's why it really is imperative that you've got a good team around you as well, because that's too much for one person to have to deal with, quite frankly. Now you're stuck with those responsibilities at smaller clubs, or clubs who maybe haven't modernized yet. Like, we've gone how many years without a director of football? That's a big reason why we're so far behind, is we've failed to kind of keep up with modern game in many ways. We just thought like, oh, we'll just, it's not that, how hard can it be? Like, it's incredibly hard. It's just ridiculous the way this club was run for so long, man. Yeah, there's a good shout. Box, thank you for reminding me you had to lit Mazraoui. I should have known that, so you're making me look bad, so thanks for that, Box. Manga's definitely aware, but he's right winger, and he's 16, so if we're going to get and we talked about Manga last week, if we're going to get a 16-year-old winger, just promote from the academy at that point. That just is what it is. No, it's not Manga I'm thinking of Fatawi. Yeah, Manga is a left winger, but again, if we're going to get a 16-year-old, just promote Ajayi. Like, I just don't feel the need to spend money on a 16-year-old winger when we've got older ones in the academy, quite frankly, personally. It is what it is. Kaylee Farmer, welcome to the channel, says, I'll go for Hall, Bastoni. Wow, big shout. Anderson and Fernandez, and have to sell to buy Ugarte, Xerxes, Mount replacements. We're going to be doing, like I said, a rebuild video probably next week, maybe the week after. I think next week we might do a relegation signing video, and the week after we might do the rebuild video. I'm still trying to finalize mine. I keep going back and forth. This is why it's so difficult. So keep an eye out for that. But also, to start that video, we'll be taking a look at the expected kind of budget, prize money for this and that, because it's not what a lot of people think. And then we'll decide it on a budget this summer. So keep that in mind, you guys. Danny says, I want a winger. Pace beats his man with ease. I mean, pace is helpful, but I want a winger who's also able to slow down and still play too. That was my gripe with Rashford, is he couldn't do anything when he had to slow down, and he couldn't use his pace. So I need something that can do. And you don't even need to be fast in a sprint if you've got explosive acceleration, but you're good with the ball at your feet. I think that could also help as well. But I hear you. I want someone who can put a cross in the box. I want someone who can create chances. I love Basel Montetori at Hoffenheim. He's such a good player. Mika Hotz, such a good player at Ajax as well. Tons of good players out there. Big up, Lyle. Welcome, Lyle. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Big up, everybody. Rob All is United. Big up, man. Celebrates 10 months of membership. Big up, Sean and the chat buddies. Big up, Bravo. You get one of these, man. Guys, membership is the best way to get involved in the content of the channel. It's not just emojis and badges. You guys can attest. You get access to the WhatsApp group as a starting 11 and the Legends member, because just because the stream ends doesn't mean that the discussion has to get involved in the WhatsApp group. Starting 11 and Legends members also get a say in my scouting reports. If you have suggestions for that, leave them in the comment section on the scouting report videos, and if your pick is selected, you get a little shout out and you get a nice little member pick logo out there. So keep that in mind. And Legends members also get early access to exclusive videos as well. So try to give back as my appreciation for helping the channel and supporting the channel. You guys are all legends. You guys know the drill by now. But big up, Rob Always United, for 10 months of membership, man. Awesome. You guys are legends. Oh, we got another green message here. I got to check this. Debasi joining the Legends Club today with his celebrates 11 months of membership. Big up, man. We are all just doing it big today. Told you guys, Fridays are just anything goes, man. It's like a free kick Friday situation out here, man. But big up to Bossy, yes. He says, I see your 10 months and raise you another one. Big up. That's the kind of battle I can get involved with. I love that. You guys are awesome, man. Yeah, Kaylee says, you can't do everything in one window, rather go for quality over quantity. It just depends on the position. Midfield, I would disagree in midfield, because we are losing Casemiro. We were already light going into this season anyway. We had Kabi, Ugarte, Casemiro, and that was it. Like, that was it. And we started with Bruno in a deep role. Like, we need midfielders. We need minimal two. We need three, quite frankly. We're going to be competing on 4 different competitions, big competitions. I want to be smart with midfield. That's where I would really want to find a way to make that money stretch. Unless there's a serious opportunity and like Anderson doesn't go to City, then you have to reevaluate and see maybe other areas of pairs. Like, if I would have no problem necessarily with saying, look, Anderson doesn't want to go to City anymore. He's open. Let's go get him. And then we don't get a left winger. And Dorgu is left wing. We still get a left back. Like, Dorgu can play all sorts of positions. And under Carrick, he has played more as a left wing. Like, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. Cunha is the starting left winger, so I don't really see why we need to spend a lot. That's why I'm like, we don't need Diamante. We don't. That's just a lot of money for a player a position we already filled last summer. But like, we need probably a striker, probably a left back, a couple midfielders, and then you're looking at depth as well for other areas, and there's always opportunities if you get good options, and a lot of it's going to depend on if like someone like Spurs get relegated. If Spurs get relegated, I'm instantly upgrading right back. Bye, Dallo. You can go join Mourinho at Real Madrid, and we're going to go grab Pedro Porro, because if you want a fullback that puts a cross in the box, there's not many better than him. Holy crap on a stick. Lyle Wilson, massive legend, gifted 10 United vs. Everybody memberships. Big up, Lyle, man. Everyone's getting one of these today. You guys are just all sorts of trying to one-up each other today, and I'm here for it. Big up, Lyle. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You guys are just making me feel all warm and fuzzy inside today. Big up, Lyle, man. Appreciate that. But it also helps us see the lurkers in the chat. Maybe we got another Liverpool fan in the chat today. No. Big up everybody for joining. And if you guys are lurking, cool. Don't mind it. You don't have to always put in the opinions and stuff. It's not a big deal. It's nice to just listen while you're doing other things. But please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe if you guys are new and you want to join the community. We are on the road to 4K subs, so we are cruising. You guys are doing an excellent job. But big up Lyle, absolute legend. You guys are awesome, man. Making it rain. Yes, he is making it rain. Oh, man. And Lyle also celebrates 2 months of membership. Man, Lyle just really likes to hear that crowd applause, doesn't he? Big up. You guys are awesome. I appreciate that. You guys just like legends, absolutely all of you. Like Ian says, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, you guys. Yes, please hype some of the old videos on your phone when you're done as well. But we are on that road to 4K. We are absolutely cruising. I'm trying to get caught up on the chats right now, if you can't tell. Let's see here. Kaylee 100% agrees. Well, I appreciate that, Kaylee, man. And if you're new to the channel, you'll notice I don't think that I'm just the expert, that I'm right and everyone's wrong just because I sit in front of a ring camera. Like, I welcome any and all opinions. Anything I put out there is my own opinion, as you can tell. This is why I feel the way I feel about these things. So all I ask is just give me reasons for why you feel the way you feel and stuff. There's nothing right or wrong here, unless you say that Arsenal deserve to win the league. That then you're just wrong. But Ian, you guys, Ian celebrates 4 months of membership. You guys are killing me. Big up, Ian. I feel like you guys are just trolling me now. You guys are just doing this on purpose. Big up, Ian. Yes, Ian, very, very, very active in the WhatsApp group. And if you guys have been around the channel the last couple months, you will have noticed Ian has also joined Dylan and I on some of our match reactions and previews and the kickabout episodes as well. You guys, let us know how Ian's doing. Be nice, but I think Ian, his voice, his opinion, his insight, his perspective on things is different, right? And I think that's it's just like Dylan's is different, just like mine is different. It's nice to have different personalities, different perspectives, different experiences and everything. And I think it just adds another well-balanced layer to the channel. So big up, Ian. We love having you involved, man. We appreciate it. The channel is just better now that you're a part of it as well. So big up, Ian, man. Absolute legend in the chat, dude. So that's the transfer news to start. You guys can get your thoughts in on that if you weren't able to catch the live. Leave your thoughts on all that as well. We're going to dive into this match. There is a poll going, so let me know your match predictions, how you think this is going to go out. But we're going to take a look at Brighton and United and everything in between. So Brighton currently in 7th right now. If they win, they'll qualify for Europe. Just sidebar, this is a league season, and no offense, but this is a league season where Sunderland and Bournemouth are qualifying for Europe potentially. So when any Arsenal fans try to tell you the league has been difficult, it's not been difficult whatsoever. But I want to crush Brighton's spirits. I want to keep them out of Europe. I want to ruin their day. Which may or may not be too tough. They've just lost to Leeds recently, but then again, so did we, so who am I to talk? But Brighton are on kind of a roller coaster right now. Loss, win, draw. It's kind of all over the place at the moment. United, on the other hand, we've got 3rd place firmly locked in. We are on 3rd place settings. Got a nice little chunk of prize money for that, nearly 50 million for 3rd place. We're sitting on 4 wins and 1 draw in our last 5, so big up Michael Carrick for getting a run of form. Sorry, kid with the hair, we couldn't get the win against Sunderland, but it is what it is. I don't feel any empathy for you. And we've actually been the best performing team in the Premier League over the last 5 matches as well. No other team in the league has the same number of points as we do in the last 5. So, and like I said, since Michael Carrick's been here, we've got the most points as well. So, Sean's clap machine. Yeah, I mean, it's just a button I click on the screen. There's a lot of little sound bites and stuff on there, but yeah, you guys are so funny. We appreciate it, Ian. Legend, man. Absolute legend. I love meeting all the new people, man. It's funny, all the people I've met. It still boggles my mind that when Dylan and I were at Old Trafford in the winter, that we got the hook up with Stu from Tactical Devils, and his brother and his nephews. That was awesome. This kind of stuff you get to do now that I've got this channel. So, what can we expect from Brighton? Surprise, surprise. Fabian Hertzler likes a high press. No Premier League club has forced more high turnovers than Brighton's 4.3 per 90 this season. They can force opponents to play long with that high press, which I want us to avoid unless the opportunity is on. You guys know I don't like long balls to someone with their back to goal unless it's someone like Shesko. We don't play enough early ones to get runners, so we need to find that balance. But I do trust our ability to play out from the back. We've been very good at it. We just got to stop forcing that bounce pass. I think that's causing us problems. I don't like it at all. I think it's a weird modern thing that most managers do now. Ten Hag did it. Amorim does it. Carrick likes to do it. We don't need to do it. We just don't need to do it. Get a little dink pass to the fullback, higher up the pitch, play it to a center back, or just push it, hoof it long. I don't care anymore. But pretty much assume that anytime you see a German manager, he's going to be a fan of a high press. It's just the way it is now. Brighton rely heavily on their center backs to initiate the build-up from the back, with Dunk and Van Hecke taking the lion's share of passing responsibilities, if you guys remember that kind of stuff. Not only can those two pick a pass, but look for them to find midfielders in space to bypass the opposition's press as well. This is what you can expect to see from Brighton, by the way, just FYI. You can see the darker the blue for the tactic, the more above average that you do that. So they sit in the high press, high block, but they also look to defend and then quick break on transition. So that's what you expect to see from Brighton. But they can bypass a little bit as well. So this is their pressing. You see they're literally 90th percentile for pressing, top 20% for the just overall defending as well. So very, very good. Again, look to hit you on that break as well. Brighton just kind of old school. I'm here for it, to be honest with you. And this is how they set up average position-wise when it comes to what you can expect to see from them on the pitch as well. They do clog a lot of that midfield. You can see a lot of their front is kind of in that kind of flat kind of shape. Again, high block. So look for them to press high as well. So we're going to need to find a way to get through that. We saw it, though. We did it very well recently. Against like Brentford, against Forest even, we did very well to bypass that. So I'm not too, I trust the quality of our players. We just need to be smarter on the ball when we're doing that, because we do shoot ourselves in the foot sometimes. But again, they can pick a pass, but their defenders can actually find midfielders in space as well. So this is a match against Everton. Again, they bypass the press very easily, and they're very comfortable. Someone like Baleba will drop deep to come and receive that ball. There's a lot of space here. If we're going to press, you got to press with coordination. You can see number 45 down here wondering where the hell his teammate is, but we can't give them that kind of space, because yes, Baleba may not be the best midfielder. He's very raw. He's very young. He doesn't even start every match, but again, you don't want to leave any player just with acres of space like that to receive the ball, because now this whole front three is completely taking themselves out of the game. And you see it here again too. Now we've got little combination settings. So Everton are pressing in a diamond, but it's too easy for them to, I think that's Pascal Gross who just finds Baleba, who's literally just going to ping that ball first time to Hinshelwood. And Hinshelwood's got nothing but space to either play another pass or just, again, turn and dribble. And he's got acres of space to move into. Quick pass to Baleba, Hinshelwood. This is it. Now, a lot of this does have to do with Everton's just, they're not very comfortable pressing as a unit. Their midfielders completely messed this whole thing up, as you can see. Positioning's all wrong. But Brighton can still use this one-touch passing to escape pressure in wide areas. It's something left over from the days of De Zerbi. This is how De Zerbi used to play. Those little triangles, they're really good at doing that. In the final third, they will use numbers to distract defenders. So again, kind of like what Forest did last weekend against us. So I would say look for Matoma to cut inside, but I think he's injured. But they do have players like Minta who can cut in. Kadioglu's been playing higher up the pitch for them recently. So look out for the movement as well. They're crossing more now from open play too than this season they did previous season. So we need to keep an eye out for their big strikers. Obviously, Danny Welbeck is probably going to score, but they don't win a lot of duels. But I saw that Fabian Hertzler has actually brought in an MMA fighter to help them get more physical on set pieces. But they just don't win a lot of duels. Against Newcastle recently, they won less than 40% of their duels. It's among the worst in the league this season. So they're not super physical in the duels. They rely more on just winning that first ball like in the air or something and then just playing the ball out. So we will see what happens here. Opta says we have 80% dominance in our box. When we've got certain players on the pitch, I believe it. But sometimes we've seen a drop. Someone gets injured or unavailable because of suspension. The quality just completely goes, man. So Justin and I were at Old Trafford when we played these at home last season. It was not a good match. I blame Onana for that one, though. We were right next to Onana when he completely just does his Onana thing and palms a shot right back into the center of the box, which people like Brighton just guided home. It happens all the time. Verbruggen, their keeper, very, very shaky when he comes off his line. He's trying to be a sweeper. He's not a keeper. I don't know why he does it so much. He actually leads the league in errors leading to goal, I believe, Verbruggen. He just doesn't. He's not very good at it. So we can definitely kind of take advantage. If we can press him a little bit when he's on the ball, I think that could be a good help. Force a throw in or just something like that could be really good for us. Minta seems to show up against us. I'm not a fan of that. Kadioglu, like I said, has been playing higher up the pitch as well. Matoma is out. Wiefer looks like he could get back in the squad. He was out recently. We'll see if he starts or not, though. I don't worry too much about Wiefer. I had high hopes for Wiefer when he was at Feyenoord. He just hasn't really adjusted too much. He looks a bit part player at Brighton these days. And of course, Danny fucking Welbeck. If you use any betting apps, probably go ahead and stick a cheeky tenner on him scoring on Sunday. Just saying, it's nailed on. It just does. I think he scored like 8 goals against us since he's left us, 8 or 9 goals. It's embarrassing. It really is. So if Brighton can be so good at passing their way out of pressure, how do you respond to this? Newcastle pummeled Brighton 3-1 recently, and they did so using the exact tactics that I think have gotten United some goals recently as well. Um, Tactics I think also that suit our players, and tactics. Oops, sorry, something's on the screen here. And tactics that I think I'd like to see us implement a bit more often. Personally, I think that moving the ball quickly, escaping the press, all things that I want to see more of from United. Newcastle simply let Brighton have the ball, and they look to hit them on transitions. Again, something that I think we need to be doing more of away from home. They trusted the pace of Murphy and Asula to get that ball up the pitch. Teams that like to hit you on the break and like to win, just let them have the ball. They're not very good with it if they don't have the space to work with. And Brighton center backs, they struggle against pacey attackers. And we've been very, very effective with this over the seasons. Let me go ahead and put this up on the screen for you real quick. Oh, not this one. So we've been very, very effective this, and we just saw this recently. I'll make this bigger for you guys so you can see it. There we go. So this was the match recently against Forest, and this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about when it comes to the way we need to start moving and transitioning. This is how you're going to get the best of Brighton in these situations. So you can see Lanham says, and then it's immediately under pressure, but we just are so good at getting out of it. And this little heel flick is everything right now. And Cooney's on the ball, and we're off to the races. We've got nothing but space to work with. Now, again, it's just the final ball has not been there recently. But again, that's what we need to be doing with this. That ball comes out, immediately get on it and start making something happen. Look to get it forward. And Cobby's shoulder drop there just sends him. But then Bruno's heel flick is literally my life at the moment. This is how you get it done. We just have to be a little bit more clinical with those opportunities, or else, because they're not going to happen all the time, unfortunately. So we have to really improve the finishing. I hope we spent all week working on our finishing, because it's been the one thing that's let us down recently. That final ball has just completely been killing us these last couple months. I don't have a problem with playing like this. I don't have a problem with consolidating and doing this. It's a tactic that we've seen quite a bit under Michael Carrick. We saw this early on against Arsenal, for instance. You're sitting in this low block. You're cutting off the passing lanes. You're cutting off the space. See, this is perfect. This is much better than what I've seen from us recently, where we've got everybody too deep in the box. This doesn't allow Arsenal to do what they want to do. We need to just be able to block off these passing lanes. And as Dylan mentioned recently in our post-match analysis for the Forest match, the defense needs to be a little bit more organized in these situations. Again, Brighton will use a lot of movement, talk to each other, switch on. Lamans, use your big boy voice, come off the line, commit to it, organize each other. This ain't a library. Someone use their outside voice. But there's nothing wrong with the way Carrick plays now that he's got the full-time job. Let's see what he actually does with it. Let me get caught up on the chat, you guys. Please make sure you like, and please make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. I don't know why I scooted back so far. Big up, Jim. Good to see you, man. Hope you're having a good Friday. Rob says, will Shaw and Maguire be up for it after World Cup heartbreak? They better be. I don't... Honestly, if you're English, I'm sorry, but I just don't care. It's club before country every single day of the weekend, twice on Sundays as far as I'm concerned. I don't really care. Your first priority should be United. It's just the way it is. We pay your wages. This is your career. Your career isn't England. Your career is United. So you need to come in and do a good job no matter what happens. Tobias says, Brighton is weak to striker 2 formation, but we got one. Yeah, if we can use pace, a lot of fluidity, a lot of movement, like we just saw, like Cunha driving the ball off the pitch, Bruno getting wide, that's what we need to be doing more of. Ian doesn't think Maguire will play. Euro in heaven. Is Euro even fit? I haven't seen him forever. But Maguire's training, so we'll see how it goes. As far as team news goes, and you guys can get in your starting 11s now if you want. Let me know what your 11 is going to look like, because as far as team news goes, Shesko is a major doubt. I don't think he will be fit for this one. Still no Matthias de Ligt, obviously. But the big news ahead of this one is that Michael Carrick confirmed in his presser that that was Casemiro's last match against Forest. Casemiro is not playing this one. It was a mutual decision. Everybody was involved with it. Casemiro, Carrick, everybody. Casemiro has played his final game for United, and it was a really good send off. Obviously, a win at Old Trafford. There was a lot of speeches going on, a lot of tears. Everybody, we all loved it. We talked about it. What's your 11 look like? I'd like to see some youngsters for this one personally. A few of them have already seen first team minutes this season. The Fletchers, Shea Lacey, even Montato has seen some minutes. Fredrickson and Amos saw minutes last season under Amorim. Like, obviously, Amos is injured. I don't know if Fredrickson is quite good enough, but I'd like to see some minutes for some youngsters in here. Jimmy Thwaite, you could throw in there. Morehouse is another one we could throw in there as well. Who could we see? Who would you want to see? Nathan Salt has claimed that Jim Thwaite and Godwill Kukonki could be in the matchday squad. Both have been in the matchday squad before. It doesn't really mean as much. I do think that Thwaites could be a very, very excellent. Thwaites reminds me of like when Bruno plays in a deeper role. That's what I like when. That's how I see Jim Thwaites. Kukonki, very good, very powerful. Little suspect at times defensively. Again, he's young. He's a teenager. Can get caught out. But in terms of getting that ball from his box to the opposition box, I've not seen anyone better at the fullback in the academy level than Kukonki. He's an absolute monster. And his header a couple weeks ago was literally everything. What do you guys want to see from the starting 11 in this one? I don't have one picked. I'm just more curious about what you guys are going to do here. So Ian says, absolutely, there's no scenario we can come up with that makes me put England before United. Yeah, to me, it's just club before country. And maybe I'm a little skewed because being an American, it's not like I've got much to cheer for with the U.S. men's national team. But at the same time, like we pay your wages. This is your job. Like, focus on us first and foremost. If you get called up, awesome. You guys know I hate international friendlies. I hate any friendlies. I think they're just a waste of time and they're nothing but an injury risk. I could not care less. I don't care what international coaches want their players. I don't like the fact that you've got international coaches trying to get players rested for final games of the season is an absolute joke to me. Like, don't care. Figure it out. Not my problem. Ian is going with Lamens, Mazraoui, Euro, Heaven, Shaw, Cobby, Thwaites, Dorgu, Lacey, Bruno, Cunha. So you're going with Dorgu and Lacey wingers, Cunha wingers as well. Where are you putting Dorgu in that one? So Cobby, Thwaites, Dorgu, Lacey, Bruno, Cunha. You're putting Cunha up front probably. Johnny Hill's in the house. Says I worry that Mount's been getting played as a DM. I think the reason he's getting put there is obviously I wouldn't trust Ugarte, but Mount has also not looked good there either. Mount doesn't. It's not his natural thing. We thought about it. We thought maybe he could, and it's not proven to be a thing. So I don't trust it. Mount. I mean, when you watch my video, the next video coming out for the next summer spreading spree video, I've got thoughts on Mason Mount, but I've also got a replacement for Mason Mount in that one. Spoiler alert. But big up Johnny Hill. Good to see you again, my friend. Yeah, I want to see some youngsters and just let them start. I don't care anymore. Play Lacey, start. I would maybe bring Ahmad off the bench. I'd maybe put Mbumo on the left-hand side or something, or maybe Dorgu just to get him some more minutes and come in. I'd start Lacey for this one and just let him do his thing. Honestly, you don't need to coach him. Just let him get the ball, let him beat people. He basically plays like Ahmad. I want to see him get some shots. I want to see Thwaites just so we can maybe get a free kick and we can see him score. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who else. Morehouse could be in with a shout as well. Is Ajayi ready to give some minutes on there? I don't know. Kukonki can maybe come in if we want to get the ball up the pitch, or maybe he just has a knack for doing it. But we'll see what happens. But keep getting your starting 11 picks in, because now I want your score predictions, you guys. So make sure you've liked and subscribed. What's this poll looking at right now? Let me go check on the poll real quick. 69% of you think United will win. 19% are going with a draw. 12% are going with a Brighton win. I'm actually going with the Desmond. I'm going with the 2-2 to end the season. Probably Welbeck and Minta. I think if I had Casemiro and Ahmad, this is before I knew Casemiro wasn't playing. So I'm probably going to go with who's playing. I don't think Carrick will take too many risks in terms of his team selection. I think Cunha will probably grab another one, maybe Mbumo as well, but I do think Bruno does get the assist. I do think Bruno breaks the record on Sunday. I do think that's going to happen. And honestly, he should have broken it like 5, 6, 7 games ago if we had some better finishing in this club. What are you guys saying? So I went with a 2-2. Ian's going 3-1 United. The Bossy is going to 2-all as well. So it sounds like I keep getting your score predictions in, you guys. Ian says he doesn't think there's a reason to not see at least 6 or 7. I don't know if we have 6 or 7 that are ready. I mean, they'll probably get on the pitch, but what I don't want to see is, well, Ugarte and Mount, like, let's just start them. Like, I want us to take the game seriously, but Ugarte should not be playing anymore. I don't think he's ever been good enough, personally. It's a 2-all. You guys are going with a 2-all as well. Yeah, I feel like this has got draw written all over it, unfortunately, and I'm going with the 2-all, like a lot of you guys. So some people in there for wins. Most of us going with the 2-all draw here. Ironically, keep getting your predictions in as well. Ironically, if we do lose this, I think and maybe I'm wrong. I think that this means Chelsea don't get European football, if I remember correctly. It's very tempting to keep Chelsea out of Europe. Because I think that would absolutely screw them as a club financially. Aston Villa won the Europa League 3-0 over Freiburg yesterday. Freiburg were absolute shit. I don't know if you guys watched it. They were not good whatsoever. I told you guys about Unai Emery. Like, he's a very good coach. He plays really good football, good attacking football. He's got trophies. He's doing very well and if you look at Villa's finances, he's done it with not a whole lot of help from the people above him. So again, Unai Emery is a very good coach. Bournemouth have qualified for Europe for the first time ever after their 1-all draw with City. I mean, seriously, Pep, way to fuck up, man. Seriously, all you had to do was just not drop points, and you've done it against Everton and Bournemouth, and you handed Arsenal the title, man. It's ridiculous. I hate it. Greatest ever manager, my ass, Pep. Just hand the bottle to City now, too. Sunderland and Brentford could still sneak in. Again, strong league season, my ass. Spurs lost to Chelsea, which now has stretched their relegation battle with West Ham to the final day of the season. So that's going to be interesting. Big implications, not only for both clubs, but also for our relegation transfers target video as well. And another piece of news, did you see that our referee from the match against Forest has been removed from all fixtures this weekend in an absolute joke of a decision, in my opinion. I guarantee he has been removed for no other reason than he went against seniority from the matchday officials, because he made the correct call on the day by at least 4 bullet points of the handball law. He made the correct call, was advised by VAR to go look at it, stuck to his guns, which not only was the right decision, but it took balls to do against the senior officials. And now he's been removed for it. Simply for going against officials. And you can say that I'm bitter. I'm not bitter. There's validity to why I say this. Graham Scott, a former referee, if you guys remember, came out, spoke on TalkSport this week, and literally said there is an intimidation factor that does come into play sometimes when younger refs have to go against more senior officials when it comes to these sort of decisions. They are kind of pressured and intimidated in some ways. So Graham Scott has admitted that that's happened. This ref has been removed from all fixtures for getting the call correct and sticking to his guns, and is being punished. What kind of message does that send among the referees in the league if you're getting the call correct? I don't care what pundits say. I don't care what Gary Neville says. I don't care what Howard Webb says. The call was correct. Go look up the laws of the game, the handball. I posted them on X. I posted them on here a couple after the match. It was the correct call. And he's getting punished for it. And it's absolutely ridiculous. What kind of message does that send? It's what an absolute joke, man. What are you guys saying here? Rob's going with a 2-all. Yeah, it wouldn't be unwise to predict that maybe we could get handed a loss here. Let's see here. Ian says, Sean shows referees what happens when you give decisions for United. It's your job to get taken away. I personally don't think it's... I'm not going to be like, oh, there's an anti-United bias. I'm not like that. I just had a long discussion with Justin about this last night after trivia. I'm not like that. I don't think that they don't. I think some of these former pundits and players and even refs probably had their childhoods ruined, but I think that they're just bad referees. I think that just the quality of refereeing in the league is just shit. It's in the mud. And I think that when you add the whole layer of this whole hierarchy and seniority and the kind of intimidation factor, I think that just kind of ruins any sort of reliability from the refereeing in the PGMOL as a whole now. Like, people are like, oh, Sean, you know more about than the refs. No, but I'm reading the laws of the game. It has nothing to do with how much I know. I'm reading the handball laws, and there are at least 3 or 4 or 5 points in the handball law that show me that this guy got the call correct. Any way you slice it, he got the call correct. It's absolutely joke, man. Speaking of jokes, Southampton have been removed from the playoff final against Hull and Middlesbrough. So Hull and Middlesbrough are in the final now. It was supposed to be Hull and Southampton. Middlesbrough have been awarded that spot. If you guys remember, we talked about the other day, Southampton got charged for spying on Middlesbrough's training sections. They sent some intern to basically videotape the matches. Was found out. They basically denied it at first. They said this kid acted alone. And then it turns out that they've now copped to doing this multiple times, which is why they've now not only been removed from the final, that they appealed, and they lost their appeal. So they are done. And I watched Talk Sport talk about this. Simon Jordan was bang on as well with some of his points. I found myself questioning my whole life that I was agreeing with Simon Jordan, by the way. But he was bang on because he brought up a point that Chelsea cheat. They get a £10 million pound fine, and then everybody moves on. Leeds basically did the same thing that Southampton have done, and they were just fine. And Bielsa was the one paying that fine. But Southampton cheat, and they're complete. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I think, again, it's like the refereeing decisions. It seems to be one rule for one club and another rule for another club and a whole different rule for another club as well. So Southampton removed from possibly the most lucrative one-off match in football, the possibility of getting promoted to the Premier League, this playoff final. But it's ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying that I disagree with the call. I think the fact that other clubs have done the same thing and they've just gotten a fine is, again, the inconsistency kind of thing. But it's interesting. That's this weekend, so if you guys want to watch that, so we'll see what happens. But again, it's a huge game, huge financial implications for everyone involved. I read, too, that Southampton's players could be also exploring legal action against the club for potential loss of earnings as a result of this as well, because if they've been found to be cheating and they're guilty, now that they do have a case, I guess. Yeah, and I guess Arsenal won the league. So like, subscribe, share and hype the video, please. Let me get one final catch up on the chat and see what we're doing with Chelsea and City spy on everyone. Well, if they get caught, then that's the problem, man. Let's see. Ian says, I just think it's complete bias simply to look at the other horrendous calls. I can't say it's bias. All I can say is all I can call it when I look at it from the outside in is inconsistency. I don't know what these refs are thinking in their minds. I don't know if there's bias. I can want to say it. I just don't know. Maybe that's just the therapist in me talking, that I can't try to read people's minds. All I can do is point out the inconsistency. I don't need to say bias. I just need to say be consistent. That's all you need to do. It doesn't matter if you hate United or not. Be consistent. It's ridiculous. What do you guys say here? Jim says, we are struggling to keep up with the label best league in the world. We need to improve. Yeah, any way you slice it, it's really not the best league. Look at the quality of the competition this season has been garbage. The fact that we were 15th last season, sacked our manager mid-season, and we're third. Liverpool have been garbage, and they're still in Europe at the moment. Bournemouth qualified, no offense, but like Bournemouth qualified for Europe. Sunderland could, Brighton could. Like, it's insane. It's insane. And then you look at the quality of the refs. I mean, they're just not good. And even when you take Premier League refs and put them in like Champions League, we all remember Michael Oliver sending off Gigi Buffon. It's because Michael Oliver has to be the star. He is so cowardly and just precious that he can't have people challenging him. And it's a sad state of affairs when he's the senior official among the PGMOL, like the referees right now. Like, that's embarrassing. The quality is in the mud. It's too expensive to be a ref. It's too hard to become a ref. We need to make that whole process a little more affordable, a little more accessible, so we can increase the sample size of the potential talent pool for referees right now. You have to. Otherwise, this is what we're going to keep seeing time and time again. I was very proud of the ref, Salisbury, for sticking to his gun. I think it's an absolute joke that he's being punished for getting the call right. I think it's such a joke, because you don't see any other refs when they get a call wrong, a high-profile call wrong. Even when Howard Webb comes out and is like, "Yep, they got it wrong," you don't see any other refs getting removed from duty, and it's so sad, man. It's an absolute joke, dude. But let's see. Yeah, I don't know that it's not biased. I just can't say it is, Ian, because I just don't know what's going on in these refs. Unless I ask one of the refs, like, are you being biased? And they say yes, I can only, like, speculate. So, But you guys, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you weren't able to catch the live, leave your comment with your score predictions, your starting 11, your thoughts on all the transfer news we talked about today and everything. Can't wait to see it. You guys know we always get stuck in on the comments. I did do a scouting report recently this week. Was that yesterday? Go check that out if you guys haven't yet. Some good players in there, some really good players, especially that young midfielder from Ghent. He's really climbing up the top of my list. Go check that out as well. Keep on the lookout for the Max reaction. Well, obviously, we'll be doing that. We're wrapping up that next week. Once relegation is finalized, you guys can decide, do we want to do the rebuild first or would you want to do the relegation? We'll probably do relegation video first. So keep a lookout for the kickabout. Now that everybody's kind of school years and whatnot, and I'm getting some more time as well. We'll have some time to sit down and do that. So keep a lookout for that. And then, of course, keep a lookout for that next summer spending spree video as well, because that'll be pretty fun. But I appreciate everybody getting stuck in. Appreciate everyone who gifted memberships, everyone who celebrated milestones with their memberships as well. Really do appreciate that. You guys are legends. We are on that road to 4K. So again, one more shameless plug. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Check out the link pinned in the chat for Fanatics. They are doing 60% off right now. So click that link and you guys can go straight to Fanatics. They've got this year's strip and everything in there as well. And of course, go check out the United vs. Everybody online store. Get yourself one of these green and gold OG shirts. There's no sales on right now, but you know, you never know what's coming around the bend. But I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Hold on, Salius, what's up? I want Brighton to win and Chelsea and Garnacho to get stopped. It's tempting, isn't it? It's very, very tempting. I'm here for the tribalism, but it's all good. But appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Jimbo, no problem, man. Better late than never. We're glad you're here. So enjoy the rest of your Friday night, you guys. Enjoy your weekend, whatever you're getting up to, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.